Greetings and welcome to we call the live CAN TV Live. This is TACTS, the Association of Clinical Trial Services, and I'm your hostess with the mostest, your community epidemiologist, Sister Ya. And I have here, we're going to have some great guests. We'll have a good topic today, but it's our intern here is with us is Anthony Bryant. And so we're going to be talking a couple of topics in a few minutes, but I just want to tell you that this is TACTS, the Association of Clinical Trial Services. Mm-hmm. And what we do is we want to make sure that we give first and foremost our mourning, our understanding, our prayers, our upliftment. We're giving good energy to those who have been dealing with the violence that has been taking place in our communities. We want to make sure that TACTS is weighing in on these topics because it is affecting our communities, our Black communities, our young communities, and more importantly, our human communities. There's all kinds. So we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes, but I just wanted people to know that we are sending good energy. You see, these are white candles and giving prayers to those who have lost their lives in Chicago first. Chicago first, a 6-year-old. And then, of course, we're having to talk about obviously, what happened in Louisiana, what happened in Dallas, and of course, it's been one, right, from Florida on up. So we want to make sure that we're constantly talking about that aspect of us. Again, this is TACTS. We deal with clinical trial services. We do believe that diversity comes, and we increase diversity by making sure that people are aware of clinical trials. We talk about biomedical and prevention trials, science, treatment, and advocacy. I'm real big on the advocacy, as you can tell. So that's what TACTS is all about. That's what we are working with in interns and making sure that you all just saw that we're going to deal with health equity. So health equity, I have to be clear. I've been pushing our viewers to call in on 312-731-1068. I want our viewers to know that I am moving the topic to health equities. Health equity. So what is health equity? Health equity does not mean equality. Health equity means that you get what you need for what you need. So if your box has got to be bigger, then you get more boxes. If you don't need a box, then you're okay. But health equity is not equality. And so we want to make sure we deal with that. Do I have a caller? Okay, so call in if you want to know more about health equity. And the other thing that we want to say about health equity is it requires systems. So there's a system in the middle. You probably can't see it as clear, but there's the community system, there's the policies, and then of course there's always going to be what we consider people that make the decisions around that. So those are the ones that we look at, and health equity is right in the middle. So we all have a responsibility. Stop saying health disparities, please. You have to start saying health equity, because what health equity is not being equally sick. That's false equity. We're not trying to be false equal to nobody. I don't want to be sick as equal as you are. I want to be better or my best health possible. It's not stigma. It's not prejudice, racism, or xenophobic, and it is not hate. Health equity means that we are getting a chance to get the best health we need for where we need it. But the only way we can do that is we have to benchmark, and we have to make sure that we work on that. So for the rest of the time, we're going to talk about benchmarking. We're going to talk about how health health equity is dealing with young people, and I mean just a little younger than myself. I'm still a young person, but I brought some of my team members here. We'll give a shout out to Charles Patton. He's waiting here on the call line. He's the Vice President of TACTS, and then we have our interns, Autumn Smith, Ajua Pryor, and Anthony Bryant. Welcome, Anthony. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking, Sister Ya.
Yes.
Yes. So, like Sister Ya said, we're here talking about equity and not just equality. Equity is more giving people what they need. So people who need to improve their diet can do so.
Yes.
You know, so teaching them the methods and techniques on how to cook or how to, you know, buy food, shopping for food. Some foods are definitely not healthy.
Okay.
And
the Flaming Hots gots to go.
Yes.
Not for breakfast.
And that involves a lot of communities with food deserts.
Mm-hmm.
And food deserts are basically the lack of quality food. So, you know, having a supermarket where they can go to within a few blocks is very limited, especially in Chicago, and especially in Black and Latino communities on the South and West Side.
Right. I want you to deal with talk about health equity as it deals with young men in your age group. Mm-hmm. That you know, maybe a little bit over 17, but definitely under 30 or 35, right? How does health equity look to them, especially with all this violence going on?
So with health equity and dealing with like Black males around my age category, and the violence that's been going on, you know, we need mental health, we need physical health. Having access to these different institutions and like different centers is very limited nowadays. But as Black males, we do need to come together and really advocate for these health centers and for our members and colleagues and brothers and sisters to reach out for these health centers and receive the benefits that improve our own personal life.
That's a good point. That's receiving benefits. What does that mean as far as, do they need insurance?
Definitely. So needing
how do
insurance,
they get it?
Well, getting insurance, you gotta have, what's that, good credit, right?
Well, you gotta at least start asking where.
Yeah. Go
to your local clinic, go to your local health department, go to your local, I said that, I mean, I don't know about health departments because they're downsizing, but go to, like Anthony was saying, some of the community community businesses, and even if it's not your community, somebody's community. Some people travel, like we do know that people go from the south side, they'll go to Center or Halstead instead of going to, you know, somewhere on the south side of Chicago. University of Chicago is trying to change some of that and have some places where they're doing, you know, gatherings and galleries of all the places. So, you know, it's different areas that you could go in, but the first thing we need for you to do, go, ask, seek out the information. Don't wait until you need it. Go and be proactive, not reactive. I want people to recognize that young people may have to do their own legwork. Your parents may not be able to do it for you. You may have to just call yourself. So if you're interested in understanding how to navigate the system, we could try to get you linked up with patient navigators. Call it 312-738-1060. That is the CAN TV Live. You can call in and we'll try to help you navigate, but you've got to get something if you need this help. There's lots of centers out there. And have you experienced any of those centers yourself?
Yeah, so I've gone to many health medical centers. I definitely get like tested on HIV, STDs, STIs.
Good.
And I do that twice a year.
All right.
And you know, I'm only 22, but like within that
but
17.
Being responsible.
Yes.
Excellent.
Definitely.
That's why he's an intern with TACTS. But besides that part, but was that scary for you? Did you feel like, okay, if I do this, people gonna talk about me?
You know what? I did, but it got to a point where it's like, you know what? I'm curious on knowing my own health.
All right.
and where I stand with that. Like Sister Y'all just said, going before you really, really need it. Going before there is an issue. And, you want to educate yourself. You want to find these benefits where it's like, okay, if I do have a certain medical issue, how can I get it addressed before it's past too late?
All right. So we have Anthony that has been talking to us about that. We're going to have another point of view we had the male's point of view, the young man point of view. We're going to now get the female's point of view, and we're going to see, what is it that they're doing to make themselves healthier. So I'd like to welcome everybody. Ajua Pryor. She's another intern and one of our longest interns with TACTS. And she just recently went off to school, and she's back here for the summer, just like Anthony. And they both are leaving us in September, but that's a good thing. Ajua, hi.
Hello.
Okay, so tell me, you heard the conversation between me and Anthony.
Yes.
What are some of your thoughts about what young people can do? We can tell them what they're not doing. Don't you all get sick of hearing that?
Yes.
Especially from parents, right? Do you get sick of hearing that from your parents?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. But with that said, what is it that young people can do, or what are better solutions that the parents can help out with?
I think that we should try to get celebrity endorsements because in Chicago specifically, the black community is really close to the point where we do know the celebrities that blow up. I know a couple people that know Chance Boway. Okay. I know a couple people that know Vic Mensa Boway. And because communities do get smaller, they can get it out to other celebrities, and you can start making being healthy being cool. You can take it that way. I've also learned recently that Planned Parenthood actually takes both men and women, so you can go there without having insurance, and they do anything from giving you Band-Aids to consulting for abortions. They're not just for abortions. So.
Newsflash, I didn't know that. Did I just learn something new today? Absolutely. That is absolute great information, Ajua, that you knew about Planned Parenthood. And that's a good thing that you know about it. But did you hear what she said? You don't have to be just, everybody talks about Planned Parenthood when it's at a very controversial state of, abortion or not abortion. Mm-hmm. But you're telling me that they can go there for just care.
Yes.
Wow, that is good information to know. Now, what other things do you feel is not being addressed and you would want to change it yourself, or at least ask somebody to change it?
Mental health in the black community is very much taboo. We do not address it enough. People say that it is, or if a black person kills themselves, it's a white person's thing, or it's not something that's addressed correctly in the black community. We all have that relative that we're slightly uncomfortable to be around, but that's because they need extra care, and we shouldn't feel uncomfortable around them. We should feel actually more loving towards them than you would your normal family members.
Wow. You are laying. Did you practice? Very good. This is excellent information. Ajua, tell them where they can call in live, the number.
The number is 312-738-1060. Once again, 312-738-1060.
She knows the number because she can read it better than me, but more importantly, she used to work on the phone. So when you all would call in, she would be one of the people answering. However, she's going to be leaving us in September. Can you give us a little bit about where you're going to school and what for?
I go to Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm majoring in entrepreneurship. I will be a sophomore in September. And for the freshman year, I was on the dean's list the entire year, so I'm doing pretty great.
All right, we've got a caller, and hopefully it's not just the freshman year on the dean's list.
Yes, ma'am.
It'll be the for the duration. But you know what? B's mean degrees. We just got to finish. Caller, you're calling in live to CAN-TV. Call in live. I'm calling it health equity, but we're going to deal with any topic that has to do with infectious diseases, HIV, STIs, health in general. Yes, caller. Yes. I don't hear it. Am I supposed to do something? They hung up. So well, we're going to continue our story and our shows. Ajua, I think that was great information you provided, and more importantly, tell me, what have your peers been saying? I mean, are they afraid of getting tested, or do they care about STIs and HIV?
Well, one thing is that I'm very selective of my friends. So when we do talk about health issues, they're already educated on these types of things. They are very much aware of their sexual activity, what tests they need to take, and what they need to do. Actually, that's the reason why I know about the Planned Parenthood, because my friend goes to one.
Okay, you can't bust nobody out, but okay.
Say her name. But she told me more about it. It's more than just for women. It's for healthcare.
Wow.
And yeah, they're very aware of what they need to do. So within my friend group,
okay,
I don't really have any problems with physical health.
Okay. And do you have problems with people around mental health?
We could be more I think everyone could be more sensitive, but I try to improve my community the way I can.
Okay, excellent. I know that young people feel how you all say it. I feel a certain type of way about some of the as we would say, controversial dialogues, like if you're having sex, do you wear condoms? Do you protect yourself? Do you ask your partner? And I always, when I do this with young people, they laugh and snicker. But the one thing I always want them to know is, do they know their body? Do you know your body? That's
completely true. I think if you don't know your body, and if you're not comfortable enough to ask your partner about your body or their body, then you shouldn't be engaged in sexual activity.
Was this a young person that said this? The reason we're doing this is because we just want you to know that these are good dialogues to have. Caller, welcome to the CAN TV Call-In Live. What do you have to offer today? I can't hear you.
Hello?
Yes, you are on the air with Sister Ya and Ajua. Okay, I can't. I'm hearing some back feed. What's going on? Sorry about that, audience. Caller called back. I don't know what happened to you, but I appreciate people calling in. Again, I'm going to be pushing this segment the best way we can. We do acknowledge that on the program it may have said AIDS Call-In Live. Let me just give you a little bit of why I'm pushing back and pushing away from that. The numbers of AIDS cases have gone down dramatically in the city of Chicago. It's almost, it's under 300. And not to mention, people get HIV before they get AIDS. So yes. The concept is that CDC and other World Health Organizations, those of us in the business, if you will, we call it HIV infection. We don't even go to AIDS, because now AIDS can be prevented. You don't have to get an AIDS diagnosis if you can get the right treatment. In fact, we're more pushing toward viral load suppression. And viral load suppression is where, Ajua, yes, you remember what viral load suppression means?
Try to get the T cells down? I don't know.
All right, kind of, right. Well, not the T cells per se, but you try to get the virus down, and then you increase your T cells in fighting off the virus in your body.
And I want to hone in on that. One of the things that I see frequently within young communities is when people say, oh, you're going to catch AIDS. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves, because one, you cannot catch AIDS. It's not a thing. And two, you get the HIV virus first. You don't catch a syndrome.
You get the HIV infection. The one thing we always watch is not saying virus, but
excuse me.
I know we work on this, but that's what we work on. But I think that's a very good point, because do you hear young people say, "Oh, you're gonna catch the AIDS"?
Yes, I've heard that. I've read that. I've seen that. It's very much prominent in young black communities.
So we want to, we call it correct and redirect. It's not that you want to be off-putting to anyone, but if you hear them say, "Oh, you're gonna catch the AIDS," audience, I need for you to say, you know what? I want to correct and redirect your statement. You can only get infected with HIV, if it's sexually transmitted or if you were born with it. But or injection drug use, but we're not even talking about that because that's so low now that mode of transmission is definitely decreasing. But you cannot catch AIDS because there is no such thing as catching AIDS. AIDS is an acquired immune deficiency syndrome.
Yes.
So that means that is something you have to develop over time, and that's when your T cells deplete and the virus in your body increase, and you get sicker and sicker, and you get opportunistic infections. A lot of people don't realize that you don't have to get that anymore with the advent of new technology, new treatments that have been promoted out in the community.
Yes.
So
another thing that surprises me is as much research as it is behind HIV infections, that a lot of people are still not informed about it. A lot of people think that it can be transmitted through kissing. A lot of people think it's transmitted other ways that no one's ever said that it has
like
been.
a teardrop.
They just made things up. And it's too much technology and too many advancements for you to be misinformed these days.
Nowadays, and you should be getting tested annually. Regardless of your sexual, what you might consider, well, I'm not sexually active, I am sexually active, or you should still get tested every year, because to know about it is to be able to do something about it. And nowadays they can do something much more about it. And if you're positive, don't think that that's the end sentence now. If you are HIV positive and you know it, go get treatment. The treatment nowadays can actually lower your virus in your body. It's called viral load suppression. That means lowering the virus in your body, and you're less likely to transmit that virus if you have a suppressed viral load. So there are all kind of benefits that we need to do. There's one last thing. There's no AIDS test. I did hear a commercial of a very famous company that I will not name because I want to get good with that company, but they said the AIDS test. There is no AIDS test. There is only a test to screen to see if you have HIV, the antibodies or antigen in your body. So there is no AIDS test. It's an HIV screening. So we're going to start using right language and information. Ajua, on that point, I'm going to ask, is there anything that you'd like to add as far as we've got our interns here, and we're going to be working with more young people to get them into different arenas, and we just want to make sure that people are doing the science. So Ajua, we're going to wrap up. Anything you want to say?
I would like to say that all the young people watching, please stay in school, stay educated. Being in school doesn't make you educated, but
that's right.
You also need to educate yourself outside of the classroom. The best education you get is from yourself. So please make sure that you are educated in a world where there's so many uneducated people, especially on economics and health.
Wow, that's a big mouthful there. Economics and health, the two main things that our community is lacking and need more of. Better health equity, and of course we want to say education is really about empowering yourself. That means learning and getting all the things done that you can. I'm getting to the point now, we're going to be wrapping up. I'm so happy that you got to see this, and even if you didn't, guess what? You don't have to watch this on cable. You can go to the hotline, CAN TV hotline, and I want you all to recognize that this is part of what we're doing here in the community. So you all can watch this right on TV, on your laptops, as you can see at the bottom. So thank you all so much. At the bottom it says cantv.org hotline. Thank you so much, and I appreciate having this time with you with TACTS. Thank you to my interns. Wish them well. Thank you.